weather is bad on election day, blacks won't come out to vote.
Right.
This doesn't necessarily give people incentive if you're at $10 to go out and become more educated or more trained. And I thought I was going to see Democrat arrogance leave the building, but Quinn is holding on to this like a wino clutching a bottle. He is not letting it go. He should have been humble last night and conceded. Don't go lock, stock, and barrel and just hit D for Democrat when they're in the voting booth.
Any downside, Gerard, to this?
I don't think so. I'm all for George Orwell, 1984. I believe in body cameras. I believe that we should have more cameras in neighborhoods that have nefarious activity, South Side, West Side. Violate my civil liberties. I want a safe community, and if cameras contribute to a safe community, I'm all for it.
Did she say it like that? Yes,
she did. She said, Brown can't buy no election, and I messaged her back and I said, wanna bet $60 million later, Rauner's the governor of this state.
Bingo.
Some people said he was killed in the parkway. Others said he was shot in the car. Others said he was shot outside the car, near the curb. Those people wouldn't come forward because they knew that the corroboration wouldn't stand up. That becomes a tragedy when people just vote one way regardless of how credible the candidate is. When it comes to a black person being shot, and this happens it's a regular basis now, you're not going to get a conviction. It's just not going to happen. If this is reversed, or if the officer is black, this is probably a no-brainer. There are more conservative candidates saying, you know what, I'm going to court that black vote. I'm going to court that black church and some of the wealthy in the black elite, because I think if we can get them to flip, maybe other blacks throughout the community, South Side and West Side, will flip as well. We have to teach our children to abide by the laws of this country, and we're going to have far less number of these shootings.
I was just going to say, what is the lesson? What is the takeaway?
Avoid criminal activity. It's as simple as that. You know, I get pulled over by the cops. I'm a college professor, but there's a protocol involved. If you're not putting your hands on the dashboard, if you're not reaching for things in the car, if you're not abiding by what the officer says in that situation, you're asking for something negative to happen. I've got a 22-year-old son. He knows the protocol of how to behave when he's pulled over by police officers.
That's what Gerard's been saying.
Yeah, a lot of business owners have said, you know what, forget Illinois, I'm going to Indiana and I'm going to Texas. You know, why don't you consider yourself just Americans? It's because of the legacy of slavery. Black people in this country are still considered 3/5, are still considered half of an individual, are still considered second, third, fourth class citizens. And if the protocol isn't right in a Darren Wilson, Mike Brown situation, bad things are going to occur. What we saw was dissatisfaction from both ends, the ambivalent Democrats as well as the emboldened Republicans. I think that the president is capable of doing that. He's Harvard trained. The country elected him. I think the best is yet to come. They know what excites us, and if we get excited and we can get to the polls, they may get our vote.
They get it. Okay, Garrard McClendon.
Yes.
Always good to see you.
Good to see you, darling.
See you, of course, soon.